Have you ever felt lost looking at some messy charts that are actually slowing down your trading and your backtest? And the worst is that this is quite common, that people don't set up their layout, and obviously this can lead to a messy chart that we don't completely understand. And obviously what we want to do is keep it as clean as possible so we can see exactly what the market is doing. And before we dive in, just to let you know, back down in the description we have got a nice discount coupon so you can get Forex online for a cheaper price. But let's dive straight in so we don't waste any time and you can see exactly what you got to touch. First of all, we get a clean layout just looking like this, and we can add a few tweaks. First of all, we got here the dark mode. Okay, if we update this, we'll be able to get a nice dark mode. That this for me is essential when we're doing a long backtest, because obviously looking at a white screen for several hours can damage our eyes. Okay, so now we've got this set up. Next thing what we can do is come to settings. Okay, open settings, and here we have two things that we can change for our layout. We've got the general settings and the chart settings. So we're first going to go to the general, just so we can change a few things, like show the order history on the chart. So when we made a trade, we'll be able to see this order in the actual history of the chart, and show open orders at a chart. That is, I think, is essential, because obviously otherwise we won't see what we're actually backtesting. But we can click this off if we want to. Then we've got the instant and the confirmation. Basically I always leave it at instant, and then there's a few other things like play sounds when on the order executions and things like this. Okay, this is basically the basic stuff in terms of the layout plus trading. And then if we come to the chart settings, that we are going to find everything else that we can set. The auto follow offset. This is basically when I'm going forwards and backwards of the chart, you can see the chart is actually following me, and I can change this as well just by right clicking here, auto follow chart, and here I can set that settings. And here if I put, let's say I add a 70 follow offset, now you can see that the chart is right behind it, and obviously this can be more comfortable for your eyes. Okay, as well, I normally tend to leave it more or less at 40-50%. That for me is the most comfortable, and not having to look right back, obviously. So let's come back here and leave it more or less at 40%, and this should be perfectly okay. So now we got this, we can set a few other things like the grid. Okay, I don't like the grid because for me it seems messy and the chart doesn't look as clean, so obviously I'm going to take that off. And what I do like to leave on is actually period separators. Okay, basically because this way I can see the daily, the monthly, and the yearly. Personally, I tend to use only the daily. Okay, just for as a reference, so I can see when the day has changed. And as well, we got here the actual session. Okay, if we want to include the New York session directly in here, we can basically see the open window of the New York session in case you're interested and you don't want to use the indicator that we've got up here. That is the trading sessions. Okay, we've got the New York straight here, just in case you only trade New York, or you don't have to add another indicator just for this, so you basically can see it here. As well, we've got obviously all the colors of the candles, so candle up, candle down, filler up, filler down, shadow up, shadow down. So basically this candle up, filler up, and shadow up is the main green candle, and candle down, filler down, and shadow down is a red candle. Okay, we can change different things, we can change the wicks, we can change everything. Then we got the buy sell markers. Basically when we do a buy or sell, the stop loss is going to show up in orange to take profit in green, and the profit transaction in green, and the loss transaction in red. Okay, just for reference, just so you know, you can change anything of this. And as well, another thing that I like as well, that it shows directly the minimum of the last swing low. So basically if I add this, I can put it on and off, and as well I can leave it like that, or I can pin it as a price axis. And obviously this is even more comfortable because I can basically see where my recent low is, and if in case it's going up, then obviously I'll have my recent high. And as well, match price labeled for the various colors. And obviously this is everything you actually need to customize your chart, because obviously you don't want to spend too much time here because you want to focus on backtesting. Okay, so as well, just a quick mention, you can change the background, you can change it to white again if you want to, but obviously this for me is not an option because I prefer the charts completely black or a dark blue to avoid straining my eyes. Okay, so the text in white, leave the grid off. And there we go, we've got a nice clean chart to start trading, to add our indicators. But obviously now comes the most important. How do we save our templates so we don't have to do all this again? Well, basically, if we come into settings, we can come down to our chart settings, and down here we can find templates. If we click on here, we'll be able to see that we can save them or apply default. Okay, and if we press save, basically we just give it a name and save it. And as well, if we want to use this template in every chart, basically we can just click here, apply to our charts, and it will spread to all the charts we have got open. But if you want a different template for each chart, you can just save it and just apply it from there. And a really important question is now, are you team white charts or black charts? Drop it down back in the comments. And that's everything for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to check the discount coupon that you got right below. My name is Jack, and I'll see you next time.